What if I told you that your heart is already hearing something your mind is trying to block out? What if Allah was sending you love, not just a superficial love, but an answer to an old, buried prayer, one you've almost forgotten? There are times when you don't understand why you're thinking about this person, why despite everything you've been through, something inside you still wants to believe. It's not weakness. Perhaps it's divine guidance. Yes, love is on the way. But what could make it all fail? It's not the absence of signs, it's your closed heart. Stay until the end, because this message could very well be the reminder your soul has been waiting for. And if you ignore what your heart is trying to tell you, you risk blocking out what Allah has already written for you. 1. A subtle invitation your heart already hears. There are signs that Allah sends, not always in words but in sensations, in silence, in the soul that trembles for no apparent reason. You've felt it, haven't you? That sudden calm in your heart, that strange moment when everything falls silent, and a thought returns. It doesn't hit hard, it returns gently, persistent, steady. A person, an image, a feeling. It's not a distraction, it's not a coincidence, it's a direction. There's one thing that isn't said enough. When Allah wants to speak to you, He doesn't shout at you. He caresses your soul. He places a strange clarity on an idea you thought had been erased, and this clarity grows in secret. You feel it even before you understand it. You may be healing slowly. You don't see it yet, but Allah is clearing your path. He's cleansing your heart. He's keeping you away from what wasn't good for you, and while you think you're alone, He's working inside you, because He knows a bleeding heart can't welcome a blessing. So He soothes. He extinguishes the storm, and into that silence, He slips someone in. You still want to resist, to tell yourself it's nothing. But there's a gentle truth you need to hear. Allah isn't bringing this thought back to you for no reason. What you're feeling isn't an empty emotion. It may be a sign, an invitation, not an order, just a direction. And as always with Him, it's subtle but powerful. You don't need to force it, no need to run. You just have to not block it out. You see, sometimes Allah sends love in silence, but your heart still cries out in the language of the past. It distrusts, it doubts, it flees. And in this confusion, you risk rejecting what was written for you long before you understand what you want. This is where it all comes down to. Will you let your fears speak for your fitra? Because your fitra is meant to love. It is meant to welcome. Not just anyone, not just anything, but that which bears the imprint of Allah. Perhaps this person hasn't arrived to fill a void, but to honor a part of you you had forgotten. Perhaps this love isn't a distraction, but a response, not a turmoil, but a peace. Remember, Allah works on your inner self first before placing someone outside. And if you feel that quiet peace, if your heart begins to beat gently at the memory of someone, perhaps it's not an illusion. It's a divine whisper, a whisper that says, "Open, do not be afraid. What I send you does not come to break you, but to align you." 2. A heart closed by fear does not hear the divine decree. Allah never asked you to be strong. He asked you to have faith. But look at yourself today. You walk through life with a barricaded heart. You say it's out of wisdom, but is it really wisdom, or is it fear? You say, "I don't want to love anymore," as if it were a protection. But every time you silence this feeling, you may be stifling part of what Allah has decreed for you. You're not protecting yourself, you're imprisoning yourself. Do you believe that Allah sends love to sow confusion? Do you believe that a pure heart that begins to feel is necessarily wrong? Reflect. Allah's decree is not a trap. When He directs you towards something or someone, it's never to destroy you. It's to align you, to bring you back to a part of your life you wanted to avoid, but which is necessary for your journey. You see, fear is silent but destructive. It makes you believe that every blessing is a danger. It makes you see blessings as threats. And this fear doesn't come from your Lord, it comes from the Shaitan. His role is to turn your heart away from the divine decree, to make you believe that what you feel is false, that this connection, this sincere attraction, is an illusion. And when you listen to him too much, you start to question everything. You block, you run away, you destroy what Allah may have chosen for you. Do you think that closing your heart will avoid pain? But pain doesn't come from love. It comes from the fear of loving. It comes from a lack of tawakkul, from that inner voice that says, "What if this doesn't work? What if I still suffer?" But where is your faith? Where is your trust in Allah's plans? Because if you truly believe that everything comes from Him, then you must also believe that this connection you feel, if it is pure, if it is aligned, can only be a sign that your heart must open, not close. Stop hiding behind wounds. It's not love that you should fear. It's the lack of faith in the one who bestows it. When Allah sends you sincere love, it is a mercy. It's a test, yes, but not to break you, to build you up. And sometimes this building begins with something simple but powerful, opening your heart. 3. Love as a tool of purification. What if this person wasn't just love, but a mirror, a reflection your soul has been waiting for, a key hidden in the gentleness of a gaze, in the sincerity of a presence, not to fill a void, but to open a passage for you? Because in Islam, love isn't just about thrills. It's measured by what it brings out in you: patience, tawakkul, sabr, that form of taqwa that arises when you realize that this attachment can either bring you closer to Allah or distance you from Him. And if Allah allows it, it's never without reason. When Allah draws your heart towards someone, it's not always for comfort. It's sometimes for effort, for inner reform, for that spiritual journey you would never have undertaken alone. He knows that some connections don't come to lighten your load, but to make you more worthy of what He has prepared for you. Do you want peace? Then He sends you a love that challenges you to become peace yourself. See this connection not as a luxury, but as a call to purify what is unclear within you, a call to abandon pride, selfishness, and unresolved wounds, a call to no longer love only to be loved, but to love to elevate. Because in the eyes of this person, you may see what you are hiding from everyone, and in what you feel, Allah may want to teach you sincerity, the true kind, the kind that requires sacrifice, the kind that educates you, the kind that doesn't seek ease but the truth. And your heart, if it's too closed, risks not recognizing this light, because you believe that love is constant gentleness. But sometimes it's a light that burns you to purify you, a warmth that consumes your old self to reveal a soul closer to its Creator. Don't say to yourself, "This bond is too strong, it scares me." Ask yourself instead, what if this bond confronts me with what I must change to be ready to love with purity? Because authentic love, the kind that Allah allows, doesn't distract you. It guides you. It shows you your own limits. It pushes you to ask for forgiveness. It sometimes humbles you so that you can rediscover sacred humility, the kind that pleases your Lord. This bond you feel, it's not just emotional. It may be a school, a divine madrasa, where you learn to love differently, not with possession but with intention, not to take but to give, not to fill a void but to become a channel of mercy. And this person, maybe they're not a destination, maybe they're a bridge for the emotional blocks Shaitan loves. Do you know what's really holding you back? It's not other people, it's not circumstances, it's you and what you're carrying without even realizing it. Old wounds, unspoken, never dealt with. That rejection you minimized but which left a void. That betrayal you pretended to have forgotten but which planted a deep fear in you. Heart, that silence, that lack of explanation. That look that left you speechless. It changed you, and you built walls around it. But here's what Shaitan does with these wounds. He co-opts them. He doesn't heal them. He uses them. He enters your mind through what you think you've managed on your own, and he whispers, "Protect yourself. Stop feeling. Close yourself. Run away." And you think you're healing yourself. But in reality, you freeze. You think you're at peace, but you're just awake. You haven't secured your heart. You've imprisoned it. And every time a sincere feeling approaches, every time you feel a sweetness that could come from Allah, you recoil, you doubt, you sabotage. Why? Because Shaitan loves your unhealed scars. He loves it when you use pain as a compass. He loves it when you believe that isolation equals strength. But Allah, He never asked you to numb yourself. He offered you His healing. He told you that He restores broken hearts. He showed you that what you think is lost can be reborn in another form. Not the same, not like before, but better. Do you realize that your need to control everything may be suffocating you? That these defense strategies you employ, indifference, sarcasm, emotional distance, aren't really protecting you? They keep Allah out. Because sometimes the one He sends to love you is also the one He uses to open you up. Your walls aren't neutral. They aren't benign. They are sometimes bulwarks against mercy and the voice of Allah, the one that says, "Open, welcome, do not be afraid," doesn't penetrate those walls when you refuse to listen. You cannot invoke healing while rejecting what Allah sends you to heal you. And sometimes what He sends you isn't a spectacular miracle. It's a sincere person, a gentle presence, a subtle connection, but a real one. And it takes a liberated heart to recognize it. So ask yourself the real question. Am I truly protected or just blocked? Am I faithful to my wounds or ready to be faithful to my Lord, even in what He offers me new? Your defenses may have served you for a time, but today they may be what's cutting you off from what Allah wants to liberate. 5. Love as a test and a ni'mah. In life, few things reveal the state of your heart as clearly as love. And in faith, this feeling is never left to chance. It is both a test and a ni'mah. Love tests your ego. It challenges your certainties. It shows you how impatient, demanding, and sometimes even unfair you can be. But it also reveals something essential, your need for Allah. For even in the most beautiful human connections, you end up understanding a subtle truth. It is not the person who fills your emptiness. It is Allah who makes you feel His closeness through them. Love then becomes a mirror. And Allah, in His wisdom, shows you not the other person, but yourself, your intentions, your sincerity, your level of tawakkul. Are you attached to the person or to what Allah wants to teach you through them? When you enter into love with Ikhlas, it is no longer a simple emotional bond. It is a place of elevation. You learn to be patient, to forgive, to lower your nafs, to protect your heart without closing it. You learn that love is not an absolute, it is a path to the one who is the absolute. And you know what many forget? Ni'mah is not always recognized by its gentleness. Sometimes it is in discomfort that Allah elevates you. He sends you a person not to satisfy all your whims, but to educate you in healthy love, the one that builds itself through modesty, responsibility, and rahmah. The one who doesn't seek to take, but to draw closer to Him. You may be waiting for the perfect person, but in the spiritual tradition, we don't seek perfection. We seek the person who helps us on our path, the one who, by their presence, reminds you to be better, the one who, even in silence, pushes you to reconnect with Allah. Love then becomes a school, and every interaction becomes a lesson, not to entertain you, but to educate you, not to fill a void, but so that you understand that true wholeness comes from Allah, not from creation. So if someone is sent to you and they inspire you to return to your Lord, to purify your heart, to develop your rahmah, to pray more sincerely, it is not a distraction. It is a direction. It is Allah who educates you through a connection, through a feeling, through a ni'mah that people reject because they see only the form and not the wisdom it contains. 6. Allah wants to give you, not punish you. There are days when you say to yourself, "This isn't for me." Love, peace, stability, those are for others. You look at your past, your faults, your wounds, and you conclude silently, "I am not worthy." But that voice, it doesn't come from Allah. It comes from your pain, your judgment, sometimes even from the shaitan, because your Lord, He is Al-Wahhab, the one who gives freely, generously, without calculation. Even when you don't think you deserve it. When Allah wants to offer you something, it is never to humiliate you, nor to remind you of all that you are not. It is to show you what you can become with Him. You see, sometimes it's not a person who enters your life, it's a peace, a gentleness you've never known, a way of loving that doesn't hurt, a look that doesn't judge, a feeling you didn't ask for, but that deeply soothes you. It's Allah who knocks, not with noise, but with a calm that settles in your heart. You're not dreaming, you're receiving, and to receive you just have to accept, not force, not control, not deserve, just open. And sometimes opening is simply stopping resisting. Stop comparing, stop saying, "I'm not enough, it's too good to be true." This will surely end badly, for that voice, it is not that of your Lord. He says to you, "I formed you, I shaped you, I know what you need far better than you yourself." You think you're not ready, but if it's happening today, it's because your heart is ready. Not perfect, not invulnerable, but mature. And Allah never forces the seasons. He leaves nothing undone before its time. So if today you feel a subtle warmth, if a thought returns often, if you sense peace where there were once walls, perhaps it's not an illusion. Perhaps it's a healing, and this healing bears the name of a rahmah you didn't see coming. Let yourself be loved, not because of what you fear, but because of what life offers you. Because Allah has never punished you while loving you. He shows you again and again that despite your doubts, despite your past, you are still worthy of receiving what He has reserved for your heart. Your heart was not made to remain closed forever. It was designed to love, to rise again, to receive what Allah has prepared for you. Don't let yesterday's wounds sabotage tomorrow's blessings. If this message has awakened something in you, share it. Perhaps someone around you also needs to open their heart. Comment on how you feel, like if your heart has captured at least one sentence as a sign. And above all, keep this reminder somewhere. Because sometimes what Allah sends you doesn't make a sound, but resonates loudly in your soul. It's no coincidence that you've stumbled upon this message. Allah is speaking to you. Listen carefully.